podcast.
Well, good, because we're live now.
Oh, shit.
We're live on air. We're live. It's you and me. We're live. That's right. We don't start for a second, but we're going to make sure that everyone can see this on Facebook, which I think they can. We're live now. Yep, there. Okay. We're live and no shit. So we're in there like swimwear. Joshua Flannery is asking, what was that dressing on the salad for lunch? And it's poppy seed, which is not at all what we're going to be talking about in Meet the Comics. So you're just going to have to pay attention to that, Joshua, because
I want to meet that salad.
It's a good salad. I want to toss that salad. So we're live. Patrick, what are you drinking there?
It's a PBR, tall PBR. It's got some good mild notes of.
This looks like you're wearing a weird snake on your head. This microphone.
Looks a little bit better.
We're gonna scooch the Yeti over. It was first. It looked like a pimp yarmulke. It was like a yarmulke to the side. Like what? I'm Jewish.
I'm not Jewish.
I know, but that's what it looked like. It was
can't
just
represent
so
the
wrong.
culture. I'm not.
No, you probably can't any more than I can. I'm German, so I pretend Jewish real good. I don't do it good at all. I'm horrible at being Jewish, mostly because I'm not Jewish. Anyways, I think we're normally we start at 7. We're kicking off a few minutes early, plus because 70% of people watch it after the fact. That's okay.
You can do that?
Yeah, it just stays alive forever,
Right.
except the first one. We did
That's
it
bullshit,
right on
man.
the event, and so Karpinski's vanished into thin air. We'll have to re-meet him.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to all re-meet Chris Karpinski, who's one
Great dude.
hell of a good dude. So welcome to Meet the Comic with none other than
Patric Fowler.
Patric
Didn't know if I
Fowler.
was supposed to say my name or you were gonna.
I was going to say it. I just wanted to do like air hands. I don't know why. They're not even. But what I do like is that the bison is between us with its snowshoes.
It's like a silent co-host.
I've never noticed the snowshoes. Like it's like the bison that's missing an entire body. He's like, I'm going to walk through the snow later.
Yeah, I mean he's prepared for snow. Like he's got all the fur, and then, I mean they've got hooves, so they can't walk through the snow good.
That's true. That's a very. I love Louis. I don't understand the bison and the snowshoes.
Maybe the snowshoes came after.
So here's what we can do. These are really hot peppers, by the way. These are so hot. So hot. They're fresh. We tried them and they hurt. So I think maybe throughout the show we should eat them. Some of
hot
them.
ones?
These really hot, horrible.
No, the show Hot Ones where they do that with wings.
Oh God. Is that the one where they had like Kevin Hart was eating wings?
They had everybody, but yeah.
Yes, but we
Bobby
can
Lee shit his pants.
You did it really?
Yeah.
I don't really want to shit my pants, but we could eat some of these.
Just because we can doesn't mean we should.
It's also true, but maybe we should. Maybe we should.
Maybe
shouldn't.
save it till the end.
Yes,
close to the end,
so we don't have to like leave because I pooped my pants. Because there's
I don't want to cry on live stream.
I'm not gonna lie. If you cry on live stream, it may bring the ratings up if you cry a little bit while we're doing this interview. I think that might help. And there's going to be some. Speaking of live, going to be some live music going on in here soon.
Yeah.
After this episode of Meet the Comics, so that's pretty awesome. Really awesome, actually. Some live entertainment going on. So I'm excited about that.
I'm entertained already.
I am too.
I feel like a sports broadcaster. I'm entertained already, Bob.
Back to you, Stan.
Every sports broadcaster's named Bob, right?
That's true. Or Chip. Back to you, Chip. So, Patrick, let's talk comedy, man. How long you been doing the comedy game?
Oh, man. Like 6.5 years, I think, somewhere around there.
Jesus, why are you not?
Too long.
You should be famous by now.
No.
Every time you do stuff, I laugh, and it hurts a little, and then I laugh a little more.
Thank you.
So, what's in the heck? 6 years ago, what were you doing that you're like, you know what, today, F this, I'm going to do comedy?
Oh, man. So I was in college. I was 18, I think, at the time. Sounds about right. And I went to go see a stand-up show. Also, do I look at you or the camera?
What? We're having a conversation.
All right. Okay.
So
yeah,
look at whichever.
Fuck those people.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, if you get bored, you're like, yeah, did you hear that point
Fuck
I
them
made,
people from the outside looking in.
Yes.
But,
Yes, I totally knew. I'm so glad we do it through YouTube, not Facebook. Because if Facebook takes it down, I can repost it later. and then say fuck them.
So just said fuck these people.
Yeah, I think. Wow. Well, Chris Karpinski and I, when we were doing it, someone said they wanted dick pics, and then all of a sudden, for some reason, the stream wasn't available anymore. Go figure. Karpinski just happened to be talking about doll penis, and then it was gone.
I think that's why they took it down.
Because doll penis, that's why. You know, we also have, while we're doing this, since we're not eating peppers because we're chicken out, we have some red pepper hummus and vegetables that we can indulge in as we talk. So Patric, you were in college.
Oh, yeah. I went to a stand-up show before I got derailed. And I just happened to mention to the, I think it was Phil Hanley that was performing. And it's, after the show, I said, hey, I kind of want to do it myself. And then there just happened to be a guy who was in the improv club on campus who was just standing behind him kind of menacingly. And it's like, hey, we should check out
improv people. Always
check out improv. And yeah, I mean, it was very welcoming, but he didn't need to be right behind.
It was a little creepy, a little close, a little snuggly, was he?
Both nice guys, but yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so ended up going to improv practice, and that wasn't really my, what I wanted to do going into comedy, but it's a good way to get into stand-up. And then maybe 3 months after first practice, they did an improv / stand-up show. So they had a couple people do stand-up before the improv.
So let's talk about that improv, because you said improv versus stand-up, and I know for me, before I came out and got to know some of you guys, I thought stand-up comedy meant improv. I didn't get the difference. So maybe explain to, as you affectionately call these fuckers, explain to people what is improv versus stand-up. What's the difference?
Improv is it's a lot of building scenes. So you start off with a suggestion from the audience. It could be anything, and you get a word, and then you take that word and start a 3-minute scene if it's a short game. Or there's also long form, which is exhausting, but
it doesn't sound fun to me. And every time I've watched it,
it's fun, but I shouldn't say it's not fun. But it's just not I'm not a team guy, so I'm not good at it.
Not your medium.
Not anymore. No.
Okay. So 3 months in, you do a split show, improv and stand up together. Mm-hmm. How'd it go? How'd your first show go?
Oh boy. It was in a church. So that was like a campus church. That was fine, but at the time I wasn't really comfortable on stage. So my filler word I didn't know what to say instead of would be fuck. It'd be a fuck what I want to talk about. And just that.
Went over super well in church, I imagine.
Well, we're okay. It was a cool church. It was a campus church.
They were trendy.
Yeah, there were hacky sacks being kicked around in the parking lot.
That's not a bad church vibe. So talk to me about this.
They do this acoustic jam back here.
Yeah, we know. We're doing this live.
Hey.
Yeah.
We're usually here by now. So they're gonna start setting.
So speaking of improv, this is happening, just out of the blue. It's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Public space.
Plus, look. So let's talk about this. So talk about because sometimes it goes great on stage for people. I haven't seen I don't see all your shows.
I haven't seen anyone go great on stage.
See, no, I was gonna say every time I've seen you, I've never seen you bomb. But talk about a time, because a lot of people say they learn the most when they just absolutely crash. Yeah. What's the worst bomb you've ever had?
Worst bomb. There's quite a few for different kinds of bombs. The one that
share away.
I'd say the one that comes to mind is my favorite one to talk about is a strip club show I did.
Yes.
And it wasn't
I knew I liked you for a reason.
It wasn't a good setup. So they decided to do the first comedy show at this place, last one as well. They decided to do it on the Sunday before, I think it was Memorial Day.
Okay.
And that was also the first Sunday this strip club had been opened ever. So So we get there around 7 p.m., which is too early for stand-up comedy or naked women.
True story. Well, it's never too early for women to be naked. But to pay for it, it's too early.
Yeah. And that's the thing, too. We were standing outside before we actually went in. There were a couple guys, trying to pay to get in, and they found out it was a stand-up show, and then they just left instead of paying. Which I understand. like if you're gonna go to a strip club, you don't want to see a fully clothed man talking about being sad or whatever.
That's a true story. I wouldn't want to.
Anyway, we go into the strip club, and there's a bartender who is also the only stripper there. That's it. Just one.
What city is this in?
I don't even remember.
There was one stripper who was also the bartender.
Yeah, who also wasn't a good stripper.
Oh dear God!
There was a bar manager who was a former stripper who did some great, like climbed up and down the pole. Like, she was great, but also fully clothed, which is fine. But
this is where a comedy show took place?
Yeah.
Did anyone actually show up?
Yes. So do my set, do about 5 minutes. Strip club audience not having it. And that's okay. But
God.
So there was a place called Harley's. I feel comfortable saying that.
I see the sign. Is it out of business now? Is it closed?
I feel comfortable saying that because I think it probably is.
I think it is too.
If they only have one stripper, I think they're probably out of business by now.
It was in Decatur, right? Or Dowagiac or something.
Decatur. I think it was Decatur.
Mm-hmm.
And so just we've got a motorcycle on the stage. And so I decided to just mount that for my set.
It's a chopper, right? Because I wanted to buy that motorcycle from
Yeah.
Sealy, and they sold it to that place because that place wanted it on stage. I rode that bike.
I wanted it on stage too.
Apparently
Great.
so. So you climb on a chopper.
Yeah, and I'm still doing whatever jokes I would do if I'm not on a motorcycle, but
no love.
Not that I remember. I don't know.
That's not a good show.
No,
that definitely
it's not a good comedy show or a naked lady show. It's not. So the show ends about an hour, which isn't a comedy show length time, and the owner's coming. We get a call. The owner's like coming to his venue, and he wants to see the show. So we do it again. We do the entire show again.
Oh, I'm sure that the crowd was just thrilled to go through it twice when they were expecting.
Oh no, the crowd
naked
left.
women. Oh, you're kidding.
There's I think the second time there was maybe 2 people, like a couple there, which is pretty nice, but like that was it.
Oh, dude, that's horrible.
Yeah, that's probably why the business is no longer there.
But you don't sound like you bombed. It sounds like the venue was just a bomb for that. Oh, you also?
Oh, no, I bombed.
Oh, damn.
And
that's not good.
But like the one saving grace of the show was that there was a Mexican gentleman who came up after the show and asked me if I spoke Spanish, which I didn't. I know just enough to say I didn't, and then he left. I don't know what he had to say because obviously he couldn't understand me if he didn't know English or
fair.
So
he knew that's cussing at you about taking away the time from his naked women.
I have no idea what it could have been, but I want to know, and that's why.
If you're watching this,
Mexican
man that met Patric Fowler, please text it in, message it in Spanish, and we'll get it translated for him. Do you know how much I would love if that would happen in real life?
I want closure.
Like if that man if he saw this and was like, you know what, I need to tell Patric Fowler what I meant to say to him.
If that man saw this, I have a fan.
Dude.
He doesn't even need to hear my jokes.
I'm a fan. I already think I'm a fan of you. I'm not going to lie. I think you're pretty darn awesome.
Stop.
So let's talk about this. So you've been doing comedy for how many years now? 6?
6.5, yeah.
Okay.
You can round down.
Is this a deal that do you do this? Is this an outlet? Is this just for fun? Do you hope to make it a career? Are you making it a career now?
I mean, I hope it becomes a career eventually, but it's one of the things where I don't think you can really force. It'll just happen eventually. I mean, I'm still having fun with it sometimes, mostly at those shows.
Mostly at those.
Yeah, it's the only time I have fun anymore.
Well, so let's talk about that, dude, because a lot of times when I hear people talk about doing comedy now, it's a little different than when I would just come and didn't know anyone. Mm-hmm. Like, I come, you laugh and you're like, man, these people must always be happy. They must always be laughing. This is hilarious. And then you meet people and like, man, a lot of these folks
think about them on the drive home, 3 hours of silence, or I don't know, REM's Losing My Religion playing.
Yes, I'm like, man, how can you be that sad when you just had like a room full of people like belly laughing? So How does somebody said what is it? Tragedy plus time equals comedy or something like that. So talk about that a little, because when people think stand-up comedy, when I think stand-up comedy, I always think happy, joy, funny. But how is it being a stand-up comic in local venues? Like, how tough? Because I know people say they're afraid of public speaking, being on stage. How is it as an everyday person? You go and you bust your ass. You spend time coming up with funny stuff. Sometimes it's well received. Sometimes it isn't. How's that play out when you leave a show?
I mean, I listen to my set if I record it, and then kind of pick out what didn't work or did work. It's like new stuff, but if it's like jokes I've done a million times and they don't work this one time, it's whatever.
All right. So what about this? Like, because I know like some people talk about open mics. Like, are you doing like on the shows that you've done? Well, here, let me ask you this. Who's like, if you were to say, man, this is my favorite comedian, who is it and why?
Probably Todd Barry or Stephen Wright. I'm gonna say Todd Barry.
I don't know that I know who that is.
He's really dry. Does a lot of improv in his sets.
Okay.
A lot of crowd work and stuff. He's just an interesting dude.
What do you think about the 8 million comedy specials that are hitting Netflix like every week, a new comedy special?
I think it's a little bit of a little bit of saturation or oversaturation, but I mean it's good that people, if they want to watch them, they're out there. But I don't know if that's like great for bringing people into live shows. But
right on.
Yeah, I mean, people are aware of comedy. That's great.
I know when I first found out about it here in Kalamazoo, I love stand-up. Like, I love listening to it a lot, right? Mm-hmm. But I was like, man, I always thought you had to be in a bigger city to actually go see stand-up comedy. And then I remember Kalamazoo had a club that I think is gone that was in the entertainment district that was supposed to be just for comedy. Yeah,
and Wild Bull.
Yeah. And then I saw it, and then I was actually looking for that, and I couldn't find it. And then I typed Kalamazoo comedy on Facebook, mm-hmm. and that's how I found out about a show here. And then I learned there's shows like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday. Where's the best place? Because I feel like it's not marketed very heavily, like local comedy. Mm-hmm. If people want to go find a local comedy venue, what's the best? Like, because Googling it, I just don't find it. Yeah,
it's honestly, it's probably hard to find comedy in like rural areas. Like, I mean, there's definitely one-nighter, like one-off shows, maybe once a month, like in a lot of small towns.
Right on.
And I think I guess I never really had to find like comedy as an audience member. I don't know.
Know a network of people, and they tell you where all the shows are.
There's a Michigan Comedy Lovers Facebook page, but outside of that,
Michigan
I can't think
Comedy
of like.
Lovers.
Yep. Outside of that, I can't think of any like Facebook groups or advertising groups that show a lot of, comedy shows that are marketed towards an audience.
So let's talk about this, dude.
Probably a lot of Facebook searching. It's probably the best way to find them.
When you see a stand-up comedy special on Netflix or HBO, mm-hmm. right? Everybody's laughing. I also know a lot of that. They go out and bring people into the shows and they tell them when to laugh and whatever. But let's talk about this. You go do a show, right? Whatever, like at Louis here, 30, 40 people maybe in the room. What for you makes a good show? Because I hear some people go, well, I don't really care if the audience laughs. For me, a good show is X. But I know a couple times I've tried it.
Those people are lying.
Okay, good. Because a couple times I've tried it, I'm just like, man, if they don't laugh, like I feel like, holy cow, I just wasted 5 minutes of their life. Mm-hmm. So what makes a good show for you? Like, how do you know when you walk off stage and you're like, man, I killed it?
I never feel like that anymore. Like, they're killing it.
Okay.
It's kind of in the middle all the time. I don't know. I think it's just the diminishing returns.
Okay.
Like you do it eventually and you do it, consistently for a long time. It just gets a little, like even like going back to the fact where jokes I've done like a bunch, like even if they fail, it doesn't hurt. So when they do well, it's kind of like the same thing where it's like I kind of know it's supposed to do well. Like I guess the show is good when I tell like a mediocre joke I think is mediocre that might be a little weak and it gets a better reception than I think it should.
Okay. So when you talk about like this for like, hopefully one day it'll become a career, right? When people think about like, man, I hate my job or whatever. And when I hear you say like, it feels kind of like average, for you thinking about this as a career, do you think it's something like do you have to love it, or does it feel like it could be just a job and I go through the motions?
I don't know. I think it's definitely, you can get at a point where it could be a career, and that's after maybe like going through all the not going through all the motions, but going through the steps of it being, a love, a passion, or whatever. And then you do it for maybe 20 years and you hit a peak, and then your career goes down. You can still do like clubs and like you still headline shows and make a good, $30,000-$40,000 a year, and that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't have to be something
the same 45 minutes
desire every day.
I mean, I feel that way about jokes. I don't feel that way about performing, but that's just me.
Right on. That's one thing I noticed. Like, it just seems like everybody's so different. In my mind before, I always felt like, everybody's got to probably feel the same. Like when I first looked at it, I was like, people must be doing these open mics with the goal of becoming famous. Like that in my mind, I was like, that must be what they're doing. And it's amazing to hear how so many people go, well, I hope it does good. Mm-hmm. But it's not really like something that I'm spending my whole life going after. So I'm going to ask you a couple more questions before we wrap it up. And first one I want to ask you is this. If someone wants to try comedy, what are the steps? If they go, hey, I want to try open mic comedy, I want to try getting into it. What's the first thing they should do?
First thing you should do is probably check out the local open mic and maybe sit once or twice, kind of see what's going on, sort of like learn not the rules, but sort of how you, I don't know, just kind of check out before you go in, and maybe like write 5 minutes of stuff you think is interesting or funny.
You mentioned something interesting there, though. You said not really the rules, but there are some pet peeves, right?
Yeah.
Some rules. So
well,
what are some common things like that? You like, don't do this, don't do that.
That's why I was kind of hesitant to say rules, because I don't think there's any.
I know I
catch few like hard
shorts and sandals
rules, yeah,
all the time.
I mean, I don't give a shit about that for open mics.
Right?
It's hot, it's summer, but I'd say for rules, I guess don't say the N-word if you're white.
That's like a general life rule.
That's what I'm saying. There's very few hard rules, and I think that's one.
Fair. That's fair. Here's one thing I've noticed, and I always ask everybody this because I like to put them on the spot, and B, I just like to hear different opinions. As far as like female comics, like I meet a lot of guys. I put this out there to like a lot of folks. Dude, that sounded super gay.
Kidding.
I know, but it did sound super gay. I put it out there to Kalamazoo Comedy, like Michigan Comics Network. I posted like, hey, we're gonna do this thing where people can get to meet comics and learn a little more about them. Mm-hmm. And only men responded. And I looked and I'm like, well, I started looking at the shows and I'm like, Kalamazoo wise, there's Ashley and then Chloe would be here, and like Gwen would be here, and a couple other women, but it still is a pretty male dominated sport, if you will.
Yeah.
Why do you think?
I'm
not asking yourself science. I'm just saying, what's your opinion?
I guess I think that like in terms of, man, I don't want to. It's not like it's any real. I don't think it's any there's creepy people everywhere, and in comedy, like there's some shitty people in comedy. And
did you hear that? Shitty people.
And there's shitty people everywhere, but there's shitty people in comedy. It attracts a lot of delusional thinking, and some bad behavior. Creepy
dudes.
I think I've gotten off.
Are you saying creepy dudes? Is it? Are women not do it because there's creepy dudes?
I think that's why they stop doing it at a certain point. It's not like a barrier for entry, but I also think that to meet women, men try to be funny.
Aha.
So stand-up comedy, that kind of.
Has it worked? Have you been meeting a lot of women by being funny?
No.
Wait, are you single?
Yeah.
Okay, hey, if you want to meet a funny guy, ladies, boom, shakalaka.
I want to hear it.
Shakalaka. Just kidding. I'm just throwing it out there.
If it works, it works. If it doesn't,
if it works.
If it works.
That's what she said. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, I'm out. I'm out on the steals. She said. The hell. I'm excited because behind us, I heard the words dueling banjos, which I've only other time heard in reference to the movie Deliverance. where it's then followed by a man telling someone to squeal like a pig. So I'm a little concerned about what's about to take place with taxidermy animals and dueling banjos. You've never seen Deliverance?
Nope.
It's definitely not a comedy. It's a little rapey in the woods. There's a lot of. It's pretty disgusting, actually.
All right.
But it has dueling banjos in it. So that's concerning.
The one saving grace.
No, because now every time you hear them, I think about how creepy it is. That is Deliverance. That is from that movie.
What?
Yes, it is. And you're about to. That's a mandolin, I think.
I heard that in a commercial, so it's kind of fucked up. They put that in a commercial.
They put a rapey banjo in a commercial.
Yeah.
They actually put it. Yeah.
I think it's kind of like I haven't seen the movie, so apparently it's separated enough to where you could do that, but.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think it's ever separated enough.
Keep them more separated than that.
It should be anything that's woods rapey should be kept very separate from everyone everywhere. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about upcoming shows that you got going on. Because, dude, I gotta tell you, I love watching you perform.
Thank you.
I think you're hilarious.
I like watching you perform too. I haven't gotten to do it.
Thank you. Thank you. I haven't done it lately because for me, I want it to feel good all the time. Not like not failing. I just want to feel like not pressury and then writing garbage. So yeah, I just want to not suck. I don't like suck. I've sucked more than not sucked. So
it's progress is hard to measure.
True story. And when I record it and I'm like, oh man, I killed it, and then I listen to it and I'm like, no, I didn't.
I guess it's like one of the other things I feel good about is that if I do a show and I think, oh man, if I did this show maybe like 6 months ago or a year ago, would have failed, but it did okay this time. So it's
nice.
That's a win for me, I think.
So tell people the next places they can see you, where you're going to be performing, show times, show locations. Let people know how they can come watch you kill it, and then we can eat a pepper.
We can.
We need like half a pepper.
Okay. I perform at the Drop Comedy Club Friday and Saturday every week, pretty much. Either one of those days at Friday 9 p.m., Saturday 8 and 10.
Where's that at?
South Bend, Indiana.
Boom.
I almost said hometown, but where I live now.
I feel like we should follow stuff up with boom, like sportscasters.
And then Saturday, September 30th at the Fusebox in Grand Rapids at 8:30 or something.
Boom.
Part of the Ned Talks.
Is that like
is that good a plug-in?
Is that like a TED Talk?
Yeah.
Is that where?
Hence you can do it's a multimedia comedy experience.
Boom, multimedia comedy experience in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Fusebox, September 30th.
Yes, Saturday.
September 30th, Saturday. What time is it? Start 9 o'clock.
8:30, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Awesome.
BYOB.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's one of those kind of shows.
I'm not gonna lie to you. That sounds like a show. Wait, is that this weekend?
Yes.
I have my kids this weekend. It's not a show I will be at, but it's a show I would like to be at normally because that sounds like a lot of drinking fun. So locally around Kalamazoo, if you want to check some places out too, Louis, the place we're at now with the music behind us, and also a bison above that gentleman. Tuesdays at Louis, you can come out here at 8:30 p.m. Wednesdays at Harvey's at 9 o'clock. Usually start getting there at 9 o'clock because it fills up. And Thursdays every other week, it's either Papa Pete's, Blue Dolphin, or Shakespeare's. And, of course, Sundays at Rupert's. A lot of great folks come out to comedy. It's always a good time. And it's also super expensive because it's free. It's super free, actually. And almost every place has good drink specials and stuff.
Look them up.
Boom.
Call to action.
Call to action.
Call to action.
Look them up. Look them up. You know, I feel like saying like from Wedding Crashers, like lock it up, Patrick.
Lock them up.
Lock them up. Lock them up. Lock them up. I think it's time for the band to begin, which means we're supposed to leave. So I think we should eat a pepper.
All right.
So
pepper full.
You pick. Let's just go for it. You pick yours, and I'll pick mine. Let's
looking
just
for the
do
smallest
this.
one.
I think something tells me that's going to be hot. The small one. I'm going to get one that's super raw. Maybe some hummus because I'm chicken. Okay, we're gonna eat these. Cheers. Oh God, that hurts. That hurts a lot.
It's not bad if you don't chew it.
Oh, so you swallowed it whole?
No, it's still in there.
That hurt a lot. What's making me talk anyway? It's funny.
It's the seeds.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
I'm gonna chew it once we go off live.
No way, you gotta chew it now, dude. I feel like my
I guess we're
mouth
gonna be
just
here a
got
while.
raped by a banjo. Dude, that is so on
All
fire.
You hear me chewing, right? I'm chewing.
Chew it hard. Like my eyes hurt.
I mean, I definitely like cried a little bit. We had the first one.
I only bit. Oh my god. I only bit the tip off the first one, and
Second one's not as bad.
note to self: soda water doesn't. It doesn't stop the burn.
Milk. The answer is milk.
I can't. I don't drink. I don't do milk. Too many female hormones. I'm eating crap out of them hummus. I'm crying.
You asked for this.
That was a really bad idea. That was a really stupid idea.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching this. Thank you to the band that we have for tuning. Oh my god, my mouth hurts so bad. That was a really good idea. I think it was. It's not stopping. It is not stopping hurting. It's not stopping at all. Patrick, thank you so much for being here, man. Thank you for driving up from Indiana. I really appreciate it. You guys, make sure to check Patric Fowler out. Oh my god, that hurts so bad. At the Fusing Grand Rapids. Check him out at the Drop in South Bend, Indiana on Fridays and Saturdays. Fuck, my eyes are watering. My mouth is like literally on fire.
I don't know if I said it before, but it's the Drop Comedy Club. I'm there too much, so I shorten it all the time. But
the Drop Comedy Club in South Bend. My mouth hurts so bad, and my eyes are watering. And now we got some theme music to go out to. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
I'm just gonna leave it going right now during the dance. It hurts. Do you want some hummus? Help yourself.
Not good, man.
Cucumbers, chill it out.
It's everywhere.
It hurts so bad.